Hi Sag, this is Teresa. Welcome to November. I'm getting ready to do your November TarotScope. And before I do that, I want to call in some good energy. Create some sacred space around this reading. And I want to say thank you for liking and subscribing to my channel. And thank you for your comments. And for those of you who've ordered readings, I thank you for that too. I've enjoyed working with everyone. And I always like meeting new people, and I'm glad to hear that the readings are a help to people also. It's what makes this work worthwhile. So let's see what's going on for Sag. We have a full moon in Taurus, and that's affecting your 6th house, and then a new moon in the 12th house, which is the house of limitations, self-undoing, secrets. So you have a chance to something may be coming to a culmination in a work situation, either work or health, where you may have a breakthrough, a psychological breakthrough with the new moon, or you may finally free yourself from however you've been either self-sabotaging, or free yourself from anything that's been holding you back, any psychological programming, or anything that's restrictive at all. It's also going to be a good time for creativity with this full moon, because you're 11th, and I think you have Venus. Let's see. Hold on a second. You've got Venus in the 11th house and Uranus in the 5th house and Neptune in the 4th right now. So this is really a good time to be unique and to be creative. And you could be doing artwork from home, because Neptune is the planet of, art and music, creativity, and that's going through your 4th house. So your house could be your sanctuary right now, where you give birth to creative expression, and it's a good time to do that with a group of people. Connect with a group, an art group. So anyway, let's see what's coming up for Sag for the month of November. What does Sag need to know about relationships? What does Sagittarius need to know about relationships? In the month of November, love and relationships. Let's see what we have. The Queen of Swords. The Page of Pentacles. The Page of Swords. The Chariot. The Hierophant. The Ten of Wands. The Queen of Cups. The Queen of Pentacles. The Hermit. The Fool. Interesting. Okay, so let us see. So you start out with as the Queen of Swords. You've been this is a card of someone who's been through a lot in their life. They've suffered through, they've had sorrows, they've had to struggle at some times in their life, and they've had a lot of disappointments where it's made them very independent. The Queen of Swords energy is someone who's very independent and has this attitude of, I don't need anyone. Don't help me, I'm okay, leave me alone. And they have this kind of off with your head energy. They can be a little bit critical and judgmental at times, but they really, but they're very fair in the way they perceive the world. They don't let their heart rule their head. It's like, this is right, this is wrong, and I stand by my belief. And so that's the energy you could be expressing in November, where you've got this warrior energy. Like, I'm not going to put up with any BS. I am seeing the truth, and I'm going to do my thing, and if anyone tries to stop me, I'm going to let them have it. You've got this warrior energy. You've got this get away from, you kind of have this stay away energy. I'm seeing the heart, because the Queen can be harsh at times, this Queen of Swords. But she is very fair, and she's a good communicator, and she could be a good writer, good editor, good scientist working on scientific journals or something like that. But her energy is one of independence. She doesn't really need anyone. She can accomplish whatever her goal is by herself. She has to be careful, though, a little bit about her words can be a little bit cutting. Because you have this Page of Swords down here. This is a card of communication. And sometimes with the Page of Swords, the communication can be harsh. So you may feel that you've had to have some difficult conversations with people. And the Page is warning you, like, the Page can mean you might have had to have a difficult conversation with someone, and it's kind of like, don't be too harsh. It's telling you not to be too, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So you have to be careful that you don't come on as too intense or too strong or too cutting. The other meaning of this card can be gossip or spying or looking into something very carefully. So you may have heard some gossip that may not be true. So this is a card of you need to check it out yourself and find out the truth, because maybe what you're hearing is not exactly what's going on. The other thing this could be is if you've applied for a job or you're considering something, you're looking at all the details. So if you're in a relationship, you may be checking someone out really carefully. Like, I don't want to get involved until I know what I'm getting into. So I'm going to really do a background check on this person. You know, make sure I'm dealing with someone who's honest and someone who's worth getting involved in. If it's a job or career thing, same thing. I'm really checking the companies out. They may be checking me out. This is just careful. It's a warning of, before you sign any contracts or before you get involved with anyone, find out the truth. This is because the Queen of Swords wants to know the truth. It doesn't even matter how bad the truth is, whether good or bad, it doesn't matter. They just want the truth. They're searching for truth. So this could be your goal in the month of November. What's true? I want to search for truth. I want to go deeper. Page of Pentacles is crossing you. So this could be, you're ready to learn. You're open to learning. So you could be like thinking about getting some training and some skills, either teaching or learning. This is the card of the student. So if you're a teacher, and a lot of Sagittarius are teachers, it's kind of like saying, don't be too hard on your students, because this is a harsh energy. But be thorough, you know, be what you need to be. I mean, you may need to check into everything really carefully, like on tests or whatever. If you're a student, it could also mean that you're open to learning new things. Not only are you teaching, but you're also learning. The Chariot, this is an energy that has influenced your question, but it's passing. The Chariot energy is someone who's been distracted by a multitude of projects. So you have too many irons in the fire in the past. And it's preventing you from achieving anything because you're too scattered. The Chariot is a card of victory through focus and discipline. So it's telling you that, okay, I know, and especially this is true of Sag, they want to do everything. They have this confidence and this optimism. And with Jupiter, Jupiter is a card of abundance and expansion. Like, they don't know limits, you know. They have no limits. Like, I can do this. Yeah, I can do that. I can do this. I can do that. And then they're overwhelmed. And that's shown by this card here, the 10 of Wands, where you're like, I'm swamped with work because I took on too many projects. So this is a card to tell you, you have to look carefully, Page of Swords, look carefully at what you're saying yes to. Whether that's a relationship or a career, you know, work that you're taking on in terms of career. You can't do it all. You're going to be like overwhelmed and you won't be able to do a good job because your energy is spread too thin. So the Chariot is telling you, find out what's really important. Look deeply. Be open to change. And be open to learning a new way of approaching things, whether it's a relationship or a career path. But don't be, you know, focus on one goal. Focus on the most important goal. It could be one or two that's really important to you. And if you're wasting your time, you know, with these other things that are just a distraction and they're stopping you from true success, maybe you need to cut some out so that you can focus on what's important. And because this is a card of discipline and focus and victory, if you don't allow yourself to be distracted by things that are not essential, non-essential. This is a card of focus on the true goal, the right goal, the one that's really important to you, and you can achieve success. Here you have the Hierophant. The Hierophant can represent dealing with an institution. So that could be a teaching, because the Hierophant is a sharing of wisdom. So you could be teaching, especially Sag. It could be an institution of learning, like, you know, college, school. It could also be a religious institution. You're sharing the wisdom, some kind of spirituality, your spiritual beliefs. But this is, the institution that you're dealing with is a place that's been around a long time. If you're dealing with a company, I feel like this is more of a career reading than a love reading, because I'm seeing that's just the way the energy is going. So I think that if there are relationships, they're taking a backseat to career this month. Career is really important. You've been really working hard on achieving a career goal. Now, the Hierophant can mean commitment, like you want to take a relationship. You want to have more of a commitment. You want to have a traditional relationship. You don't want to just live with someone. You want a formal commitment like marriage. So you could be thinking along those lines. But you could also be dealing with a career, a company that's been around a long time, that's very strict, very stubborn. They have strict policies, and they're not open to change. And you're wanting to present new ideas, fresh perspective, and they're like, no, this is how we're doing things. These are the regulations. We're not deviating from the regulations. So you could be dealing with stubbornness. People who are stubborn, maybe a partner even that's stubborn, or the people that you work with are just not open to change. And you're like beating your head against a brick wall, trying to get them to see things from a different perspective. But this does, and you've been working really hard, and you are going to be able to put your burdens down. You're coming to the end of hard work, especially at the full moon. I think that you're going to be completing a project that you put a lot of energy into. And the project could be something that involves service to the community in some way, because it's involving the 6th house. It could also be, if you've had some kind of health issue, you're coming to the end of that, where you really have made changes in the way you approach health. It could also be employment. You know, whatever it is you're dealing with, it's coming to an end or stage of completion. Not an end so much like you're breaking up or whatever. It's just more like the hard work has been done, and now you're ready to take it to the next level. Queen of Cups is in your fear sector, so you might be dealing with, okay, the Queen of Cups relates to artistic ability, intuition, creativity, psychic ability, spirituality. Maybe you're doubting you're having doubts about your beliefs, or your doubts about your intuition. Like, maybe you're picking up some vibes, but you're saying, no, maybe that's my imagination. And you're not letting that intuitive side of you flourish. You're being totally stuck in the logical realm. So you need to find that balance, more of a balance between listening to the inner voice and also looking at the facts. So trust that intuition too. It could also mean that you may have doubts about someone that you're working with. That could be a water sign. It could be someone in your life that you're doubting. You're not sure if you could trust them, or you're just having suspicions about them. And that could be someone who's Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Or someone who's very spiritual, very intuitive, into the healing arts. So that could be a possibility also. In your environment, you have the Queen of Pentacles. So you could be learning, this is a card of, so you could be working with someone who's an earth sign, and they're opening you up to new concepts or new ways of doing things. Maybe you're teaching this person, or they're teaching you, or you're working together and teaching each other. The Queen of Pentacles is could be an earth sign, but it represents someone who's got a lot of talent, and has also really enjoys her home and material things, works really hard for the money, likes to be surrounded by beauty. So you could be dealing with someone like that, who works hard and likes to, enjoys family and home and entertaining at home. And looking toward the future. She's looking for, she's on a path toward the future. So maybe the two of you are working together on some project. The Hermit. This is your wish fulfillment. So I feel like you need to take some time out to think about where you're going. You need to take some time out to think about what you really need for happiness. Because this is a card of, like, maybe not socializing too much, taking a break from socializing so you could figure out, where do I need to be? What do I need to do? Okay, I finished this one cycle. Now I need to start a new cycle, but where do I need to go? Because you have this Fool card at the end of the reading, and the Fool card is wiping the slate clean, starting over. So you might be thinking, like, of starting a whole new life in some other area, or starting a whole new career path, or even starting a whole new relationship. Possibly with this Queen of Pentacles. So if you're not, I don't know if you're dating someone, if you're ending a relationship, you might be starting a new one with an earth sign. Or if you're in a relationship, you might be taking it to a new direction. Maybe, and sometimes with the Hermit, maybe you need to see someone about a health issue that you need to go for advice, so that you could, you know, inject more life into you. I'm not saying that you have major health concerns. It could just be something as, you know, eating better so that you get more energy, getting enough sleep at night, talking to someone about whatever's worrying you so you don't have the stress. It's kind of more of like a counseling card. Like, you just need to unload on someone. You've been carrying it all in by yourself, and you're not letting anybody help you. This is a card of saying you don't have to go through this alone. You don't have to struggle alone. There are people around you that are there for you and that want to be there for you. But you have to ask. You have to say, hey guys, you know, I need help, or I could use some advice. So don't be afraid to, don't be so independent that you shut people out in the month of November, because there are people there around who care, but they might be afraid to approach you because you've had this stop sign in front of you for so long. So this is a card of going to someone for advice, whose opinion you trust and whose opinion you value. It's also taking time out to follow your inner guidance, to know what direction you need to go in. You may want to follow a more spiritual path. Maybe you have some spiritual wisdom that you want to share with the world in some way. And you might be working with these two people to get it out there. One you trust, and one you might have reservations about. But in any case, you're on the edge of a new life or a new beginning with the Fool card. The Fool card is about being divinely guided. So listen to that inner voice. It's going to point you in the right direction. And it's telling you it's time for something new. It's time to take a new path. It's time to get involved in something fresh and exciting. Now that I'm finished with this project, now that this is over with, I'm ready for something new. I'm open for the new. So it could be a new relationship, or it could be a new career path. Whatever it is, I think it's going to be exciting for you. I think it's going to inject new life into you and new enthusiasm. You know, maybe you're getting burnt out with whatever you've been doing because you've been working so hard. And so maybe you need just a fresh perspective or a fresh activity to bring more life into you, and energy into your life. And it could also have to do, because of all the energies that are at play right now are within your 6th and 12th house. So you really need to look at your psychological blocks too. Where have I been holding myself back? Where have I been letting fear stop me from doing what I really want to do? What do I need to look at? You know, where am I being run by unconscious programming? Those are some of the questions that you want to ask this month. And you can have a new start in that area, because the new moon falls in your 12th house. So that's a good time to get counseling if you need it, or to delve into something that you need to overcome, like a personal blockage or personal mental a fear, you know, something that's been stopping you. Now, Mars and Pluto are going to be squaring at the new moon. So, and that's happening in your 2nd house and also in your 11th house. So Pluto's in your 2nd house. It's transforming the way you view yourself. And it's transforming your ability to earn money, to create security for yourself. And the 11th house has to do with a hope or dream or friendships, groups you belong to. So there could be some power struggle over money with a group that you're involved in. Either friendship or a group that you belong to that is working with this to help society in some way. It could also, and sometimes the 11th house can also relate to the money you earn from the career that you're in, the work that you do. So you might be arguing, so if you're thinking of moving to a new job, you may be having a power struggle over the salary. Or if you're in an existing job, you might be struggling over like the money they're paying you, a raise or something. So there might be some conflict, like maybe you feel like you're not being paid what you're worth. So there could be some challenge. So be careful. That could come up. You have to just be careful how you communicate, because the energies of Mars and Pluto are very volatile. And so conversations can get heated. So you don't want to, blow your top or go overboard in your discussions. It may not even be a good time to discuss those issues. Wait till this aspect passes. So wait a few days after the new moon. It's a good time for new beginnings, but don't do it around the 18th when Mars and Pluto are squared. Just if you have any issues to discuss with anyone, any conflicts, wait till after. But other than that, I think you're on track for a new life and a new beginning. And it may, you may be working with 2 other people. But whatever the case is, don't be afraid to start something new. Don't be afraid to let go of your burdens and create something that really speaks to who you are. Share your wisdom with the world. Now is the time for you to do that. Whether you're teaching a new spiritual path or teaching in whatever capacity, you're gifted in that realm. So don't let fear hold you back. Anyway, that's my forecast, Sag, for November. Happy birthday for those of you who are having a birthday in November. And I will talk to you, and happy Thanksgiving if you're living in the United States. And I will talk to you again next month. Okay, thanks. Bye now.